Hey guys, it's Julia here, and today I have the Samsung laptop. Now you guys may or may not remember this. I know I showed it in the customization experiment. I might have shown it in previous videos. I don't exactly remember, but this is the Samsung R580. I believe that's the model. It could be the R470, but I'm not sure. I determined it, I think I did determine it to be an R580, but I'm not sure. This computer is interesting and it was hard to find a model for it at all. This laptop has an i5 first gen and NVIDIA graphics, so I think it's pretty interesting. Backstory of where I got this computer was my brother got it from a recycling center. It was actually still in a laptop bag. It didn't have a hard drive in it, so I had to put my own hard drive in it. And then after that, it worked and all that stuff. And yeah, some issues with it. It overheats a lot, especially where I am because the temperatures are just really high. And also, I believe the mouse buttons don't work. I don't think these work. I don't remember them working. So, those are the two issues with the system. Other than that, it pretty much works well. So, I did put the hard drive from the G60 in this because I am going to keep that hard drive even though I'm getting rid of the G60. I'm also getting rid of this computer around the same time, so I thought I would record the video before I start. But basically what I'm doing with this computer, well, I'm getting rid of it because it gets too hot. And I'm trying to keep computers that, work. And yes, I could replace the thermal paste on it, but I believe it requires taking a good majority of it apart, and there isn't very many manuals online with how to do that. So I just don't feel comfortable doing it. So I'm basically just going to get rid of it because of that. Although I do have someone that is going to take it and maybe they can fix it. But anyway, I'm going to power this on. It still has that Vista installed that I installed on the G60, so let's actually see how that reacts. I'm honestly curious. Samsung, oh yeah, by the way, this is what the front of it looks like. There's a lot of sticker residue as well on it from stickers being on it, because I believe my dad put stickers on it at one point, or it might have already been like that when I got it. Maybe it already had stickers. I can't remember. It's been there for a while though. But we'll just look at this, and then I have something planned to install on here, even though I'm not keeping this one either. But I want to, do something in the video with the computer, so that's why. It's complaining about activation, but that's obvious. That's because it's in another computer. Alright, I had to restart my camera because it was just not adjusting properly. We'll just say later. It might not even let us in because of the activation, because I believe the time was wrong on the G60, so it probably thinks it's actually ahead, because I believe the battery on this, I think, works. Yeah, that is the right date. That may or may not be the right time, because I actually don't know what time it is right now, so that may or may not be right, but I know the date's right, so I believe the CMOS is still good in this computer, so there's a high chance the time's correct as well. So that's a good thing, because I know on the G60, the CMOS battery is dead on it. But this is the specs: i5 M430, 2.27 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM. It is a pretty decent system. But yeah, let's see. I don't think these buttons work. Does right-clicking work? It looks like right-clicking's working, but if I tap on it, it'll work. Like if I tap on this instead of pushing the button, but the button itself doesn't work. Yeah, this doesn't have drivers, so device manager, we'll see. It didn't have drivers on the G60 either, but I'm not keeping this installed anyway, because, well, it's Vista, and this was for the G60. But yeah, it's also missing some things as well. As you can see, it doesn't even have the Ethernet driver. I don't think it has a Wi-Fi driver either, because Vista doesn't really have any drivers, so that's to be fair. Oh, you must restart later. It's trying to install some things. I can hear that hard drive. I believe that is the hard drive that was in the freezer, though. Which I'm not getting rid of that drive, so... Oh, Defender is out of date. Yeah, we know. So, this video is being recorded in June, but you guys will be seeing this in July. And the reason for that is because I need to record the video now, and I don't want to move my schedule around and stuff, because I already have it all, you know, set up and stuff. So I'll just have it recorded and then edit it when the time gets closer, or maybe edit and schedule it when I feel like it. But the planned date for this video to go up is July 29th, 2022. So that's basically Windows 10's 7-year anniversary at that point, because it came out in 2015. So I thought I'd install Windows 10 on it. So we're gonna put our USB in. It's probably not gonna detect it in Vista, but we don't need it to. I just need to restart it. So I forgot what the boot menu key on this was. It might be F12. I don't remember because I don't use this computer often at all. It just sits in my closet, honestly. And as I said, I'm trying to get rid of a ton of systems. Nope, that's PXE boot. Okay, it's not F12. Whoops. I don't remember what the key is, but let's just Control Delete. Alright, I got it to boot. I selected the ISO we're going to install. I pushed F9 and it just booted to my Ventoy. I'm not sure if that was the key to get it to boot or not, but it seems to have worked, so cool. I guess it might have been F9. Then again, it didn't ask me what device. It just booted to my Ventoy, so I'm not sure. Maybe it just auto-booted to it, or it was that F key, but no menu ever came up, so that's a bit confusing. But this computer, pretty much, I got this computer, I would say, since my brother mailed me a ton of computers from the recycling center. It was back in 2017, I believe, that he did that. So that's probably around the time that I got this computer. And I did actually install 10 on it, I believe, because the Windows 7 key on the bottom is unreadable. Like, you can't read the product key at all. It's just completely unreadable, unfortunately, which that's really sad, because, you know, I wanted to actually put 7 on this, but no key, so I was unable to do that because it wouldn't be activated. So basically, I had to put 10 on it. And I believe it did have a digital license for 10 when I did install 10 on it. So the computer probably had 10 on it before, if that was the case. Because I know it did. But I think it was for 10 Home, not Pro. Like, if you install Home, I believe it would activate, but if you install Pro, it wouldn't. So I'm guessing maybe whoever had this computer last upgraded it to 10, and they were probably on 7 at one point and upgraded it. I believe that was a 7 sticker, but it's gone for some reason. I hope this boots, because it's taking a while, so I'll just be back and we'll see if this boots. So guys, I'm back. I had to make a USB because Ventoy wasn't working for some reason, which is weird because I'm pretty sure it does work on this computer, but maybe it didn't like the ISO I was using. I don't know. But I put something on this USB, which I'm going to show you guys what that is, because you'll see in the installer when we go through and select the version, you will see what it is. So it's loaded up into the installer. You can see the date there says 2015, so what do you think that could be? Next, install. Alright, well, we got our license agreement. It might not actually give us a selection, it looks like. Well, that's weird. Well, I'll just tell you guys, this is Windows 10 LTSB 2015, which is based on the very first version of Windows 10. It's still supported, so that's good, but obviously, like, it only gets security updates. It doesn't get any features or anything, or feature updates, but like I said, I'm only installing this because it's the 7-year anniversary of Windows 10 when you guys are seeing this video, and after today, I'm not even gonna have this computer anymore, so it's not like I'm keeping this on here because I won't even have the system anymore, and I'm taking the hard drive out of it. So I'm just really installing this for the video for the anniversary of Windows 10 being 7 years old. Which, that's crazy that Windows 10 is 7 years old. I mean, Windows 11 is a thing now. But the crazy thing is that I never actually expected Windows 11 to be a thing, you know? I thought the next update, which was Sun Valley, I thought that was a Windows 10 thing, but no, I was wrong. It was 11. And it shocked me. Alright, it wants to reboot now. I was mentioning about, yeah, I didn't think 11 would be a thing, but after the hints, it was kind of obvious. And then when it leaked, it was really obvious. But I'm still going to use 10 for now, honestly, because it works for me. But by the time this video goes up, there's a chance I may or may not be on 11, but probably not. I mean, maybe on some things, but probably not my main. And if I do, then I'm just trying it. Anyway, I'm gonna let this do its thing. It's just gonna say, like, getting ready and stuff like that. And we'll get through setup. I'm not gonna go, you know, totally into it, but the history on this computer, though, it's not really that important, you know. It was given to me by my brother from a recycling center because he found it, and I just took it, but it does like to overheat, and this button doesn't work. But other than that, it's not really a bad system in my opinion. But I am getting rid of it. I mean, it is going to someone that's actually going to use it, though, so at least I feel better about that because it was just sitting in my closet, but now it's actually going to someone that can put some use into this thing, so they probably won't have to deal with the overheating issues, hopefully, or they're going to get it fixed or clean it out, but alright guys, so we're finally in a setup. I'm not going to connect it to a network right now. Customize settings. I'm going to turn these off like I always do. This doesn't have a graphics driver. I will connect it to the internet after setup though and let it get all the drivers just to show you. So I will do that. Probably not going to run all the updates though, because that's going to take a while and I'm not keeping the install, but I can probably go to device manager and have it get the drivers from there, or at least most of them, like the display driver and stuff like that. I'm just going to use it. Let's just type like user again. Alright, I just resumed it because I needed to set it down and do that, but it's going to say just a moment and I'll be back. Or no, actually it's doing something. So it says hi. We're setting things up for you as usual. Now, this computer, I am going to miss it, but at the same time, it overheats a lot, and I don't really have much of a use for it, and I'm trying to have less computers, because, yeah, some of the computers I have might work, but I just have way too many of them, and I think I've already said that way too many times at this point. Well, now it says taking care of a few things. That's pretty funny. I remember seeing that in, like, 8.1, and I was always laughing so hard. Anyway, let's start is here, and we are loaded. So I will do a WinVer on this. Maybe the right click button doesn't work. It does work, okay. I will do a WinVer on this for you guys. So yes, it is build 10240, which is the RTM build of Windows 10, but it is Windows 10 Enterprise 2015 LTSB, so it's still supported until 2025. So it actually still gets security updates. It's like the only version of RTM I would ever use because it gets updates, but I'd put this on like lower end systems or systems that just, you know, can't handle newer versions, or maybe computers that have hard drives still. It might be better for those. Or I might just put 8.1 on those systems, honestly. But 8.1 is ending support in a year. But anyway, you can see there's not very many things installed. We have the contact support, which this is kind of interesting. I don't know why this is here, but it is here. That it's, yeah, it doesn't load probably, but yeah, it just crashed. But what I'm probably going to do here is connect it to the internet, which I'm gonna go plug in an Ethernet cable because that might be easier, and get the drivers. Alright guys, so I moved the computer so I could plug it into Ethernet because it's on this side, so it wouldn't reach and my cables aren't that long. But I'll open Device Manager. About this computer as well, a bit more backstory that I didn't mention. I actually did use this as my very first server in, I believe, the summer of 2019. I made this my first server, and I used it for deployment, and I did have a VPN on it, so that way when I was on vacation, I was able to VPN into my network, so I didn't have to, you know, be insecure, because I did connect to a lot of open networks on that vacation, for example, open Wi-Fi's and things like that. So this computer was actually helping me with that, which was pretty cool because this was my first server. I did end up adding a domain. I don't know if it was added on this computer or if I did it on the ThinkPad that I got later on. I might have started it on this one. I'm not sure, or it might have been on the ThinkPad. But let's update our graphics driver. I did make my domain, and I believe it was like February of 2020. So I don't know if I had been using the ThinkPad at that time yet, or if I was still using this computer in particular. Let's just open up the properties. You could see the processor i5 M430, and it does have 8 gigs of RAM. It's not showing, but it's hard to open the properties when the right click menu doesn't like want to work. This button is very hit or miss. It could be the same with this one as well. Maybe it's just, I don't know. But this is our specs here. Core i5 M430, 8 gigs of RAM, 64-bit. So this is the specs. I don't know why it's activated because this ISO is not cracked, so that's kind of weird. But I'm not keeping this install anyway because I don't care about it. It's just for the video. Yeah. That's kind of strange though. I don't know how it did that. Maybe it's a bug. With older versions of 10, sometimes the activation would bug out and do weird stuff. We're installing our device software, which I'm only doing this just to show the GPU that's in it. Because I know it is some NVIDIA, but I don't know the exact NVIDIA. Because it's been, you know, a while since I've even touched this computer. Okay, as I stopped the video, it actually blinked the screen and did this and made the device connect sound, so I think it's about done being installed. It probably still needs to reboot, because I know the driver with this NVIDIA requires a restart to work properly, and I don't think this is still a correct resolution. So, probably will have to do that, because it looks kind of stretched still. It doesn't look right. But I will say something about this computer. If it doesn't fall, it does have this, you know, nice color to it. So if you guys want to see, this is the color of the system. It's like this red, but kind of black. I really like the design of it. I just wish all this glue and stuff from these stickers wasn't all over it, because honestly, it looks bad. But basically, I'll have the light on just so you can see the computer better before I get rid of it. Oh yeah, I might want to move that back. I just moved it over here because I'm not using my main right now, since I'm actually going to go to bed after this video is done being recorded, as I don't feel very well. I've had a headache today. And yet I'm recording this probably a month before you see it, like a month and a half before you guys are seeing the video, because I'm getting rid of it and I have to record it now. But you guys will be seeing it on Windows 10's anniversary, so that's why I decided to do this for that. I think last year I showed an Acer Aspire 1 netbook running Windows 10 technical preview for the anniversary. That was really interesting, especially when it loaded the Windows 11 page. That was really funny, and the fact that it also blue screened on me when I was like in Windows Update or something, I can't exactly remember. It was really funny though. Anyway, this is a NVIDIA GeForce 310M. So, yeah, it's not going to work until we reboot the computer. That's obvious. Oh, it pulled a 2016 driver. I'm not sure if there's a newer driver. Let's actually go to the display settings. It's not letting me right click, so I'm just gonna do it this way because I don't want to fight with it, you know? Advanced display settings. It's stuck at 1024 by 768, so we do need to actually restart. It wants us to reboot, so let's reboot it. But I like the design of this computer too. In my opinion, it looks really good. I think the design of this computer is good. I do like the keyboard. Typing on it is really nice. I will give it that. It doesn't actually perform that slow, and it does have a hard drive in it right now, not an SSD, which I don't know what I'm going to use the hard drive for yet. It might be failing, I'm not sure. Alright, there we go. It was loading really slow for some reason, but I probably cut all that out by now. But you can see it is logging in again in that old Windows 10 background. I remember that. You know, it's nostalgic in my opinion. I remember back then, though, being really excited for Windows 10 until I realized how unfinished it looked and how it was buggy on my DV6, but that was the hardware's issue, not Windows 10's fault. I also don't like the fact, though, that on RTM the title bar isn't colored. I just think it looks strange, especially if you have your taskbar a different color. If I open File Explorer, you can see the top bar is just white. If we try and change the taskbar color, which it may or may not let us, let's try and change it to something, just for demonstration purposes. Like, let's put green, or maybe we should put, like, red, because of it being a Samsung. And we tell it to show the color. It does look a bit strange. Let's try, like, this red. So this is a red. I changed it, but you can see that it's only around the border, not the actual title bar. And if I close this and I reopen it again, yeah, you'll see this is how it looks. The taskbar will have color, but the actual title bar does not, just the border does. I know that in 15.11, which was November update, which is released 4 months after, it added the color back to the title bar, because I guess people really wanted it back, so Microsoft actually added it back, and that was great. We now have a driver. I guess this drives like 300 gigs, maybe 320, I'm not sure. The NVIDIA GeForce 310 is here. There's a weird space there, that's strange. But it is a 2016 driver, probably not the latest. It probably can go up to a higher version, I'm not entirely sure. It looks like it has all the other drivers. Windows might have already gotten them, or what, or maybe it already had them. But the laptop, like I said, it performs pretty well. It's just it can overheat sometimes. And it's nice that it has 8 gigs of RAM in it, because, you know, I think the reason I did that was because I used this as a server. It originally used to have 4 gigs, but I upgraded it to 8. So that way I had more RAM to work with, and that was helpful for a server. And then that Lenovo ThinkPad became my server, which I believe it had like 12 gigs of RAM, but I upgraded it to 16, or it might have had 8, I'm actually not sure. And then I got my actual server computers, 2 desktops, which are Dell Precision T1700s, and they're doing pretty well. I have one small form factor one and a bigger form factor one, and they actually do pretty well as servers for me. I'm probably not going to get any more servers because I think I'm fine just having the 2. I don't want to, you know, overwork it and have too much going on. But it's just crazy, though, how Windows 10 is now 7 years old. You know, what are your guys' experiences with Windows 10? You know, feel free to leave a comment. It's not right-clicking, so I'm just going to open WinVer from this to show it again. But this is the LTSB version, so it's still supported. But if this was Home or Pro, this would be already unsupported because the original version of 10 lost support back in May 2017. and obviously is not, you know, the safest in the world. Although, then again, there's other OSs that are older. Then again, Windows 7 lost support in 2020, so that's actually more secure than using the first version of Windows 10 if it was Home or Pro. But LTSB still gets updates, obviously. I'm not going to bother updating this, though, because I'm just going to end up, you know, not having this anymore anyway. And I'm probably going to end up wiping this hard drive and putting something else on it when I put it in another computer. But anyway, that'll conclude this video. Wow, that old Action Center, that's just so old and weird looking. Honestly, and the old device remove icon, the safely remove hardware, the old OneDrive that disappeared, and NVIDIA. This is probably really old NVIDIA. I wonder if it installs the same driver on a newer version of Windows 10. I'm actually not sure on that. Anyway, I'm going to turn this off. It was a nice machine to have around. I don't really have much of a use for it anyway. I will still miss it because, you know, it was my first server. Not for that long, though. It wasn't my first server for that long, maybe 6 months. So I don't think it had a domain on it ever. It might have, but I'm not sure. But you can see this needs to be cleaned. Maybe the next owner can clean it up. I will miss the system, but at least it'll be getting used. Because in my closet, a lot of my systems don't get used. So if someone else can take them and make better use of them, I guess that's a good thing. Yeah, anyways, thanks for watching this video. I feel like this one was kind of long, but, you know, this computer, pretty interesting. I like the look of it. I like the design of it. I wish it didn't overheat. I would take it apart and clean it, but being honest, I feel like I'm better at software than hardware, and I feel like if I take it apart, I might mess it up or something, and especially if there isn't many guides on it. Like, if there's a guide, I might attempt it, but you guys are seeing this way later on, but the computer is already gone by then. And I probably would have showed a ton of computers by now. You guys have seen a lot of my computers. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now. And goodbye, Samsung.